this is Rhea, and this is Just the Who of Us, where we talk about a range of topics including life events, current events, spirituality, entertainment, family relationships, as well as answering listener questions and more. So, how are you? How have you been?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to make it,
Yeah,
just doing what I love to do.
well, that's good.
I'll tell you what, I look like a fat ass on this motherfucker. Um, but
You're
you
fine.
been okay?
Huh?
Everything going good your way?
It's going better. Yeah, it's going better. I'm doing better.
Mhm.
I'm getting there.
I know you've been through a lot. I've been going through some shit myself,
Yeah. What's been going on with you? Anything you want to talk about on here? Or we could just talk about that or
Relationship, like I just realized I was with her, my wife, for 10 years, and she's never sacrificed anything to be with me.
hmm
Really hurts. Um, she never made like a commitment to want to be with me.
So, okay, so let's start. So today with us we have so for this purpose you want to go by your first name, Montavius, right? Devante is your stage name.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. So today you guys met him as Devante, but today he is back as Montavious as we are stepping out of the stage talk, their performer talk, and getting to know the guy behind the performer. Um, you guys have probably if you're listening, if you've been following, you've heard his first episode where he came on and he was talking about relationships, his relationship experience and journey and things like that. And so now he is back to kind of give us a little update and yeah. And whatever else happens along the way.
Oh yeah, I'm crazy. You never know what come out my mouth.
So I know the last time we talked on this topic, um, you were kind of at this point where, you've been in this relationship for a long time, you have kids together, but that satisfaction and that dedication to commitment has kind of slowly gone away between the two of you. Um, I think when we last talked, you were kind of at this place where you were figuring out what to do. And I know since then there have kind of been some steps taken to continue that journey and focus on your individual happiness.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Um, I mean, like I say, I do love her, but I could tell that she don't love me the same way I love her. You know what I mean?
hmm
All she was there. I mean, all I was good for was money, pretty much. So, but now I'm just here just because of my kids.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
So
that normal. That's pretty much normal to anybody who's getting married at your age. It don't work out. You know.
yeah. So how old were you? How old were you guys when you got married?
I was 20, she was 18.
I think I was either 21 or 22 the first time we got married too.
Was very young. I mean, but it makes me, it's like I'm trying to get out of it, but it's not that easy. One of them situations.
Yeah.
I mean, did I say she loved me? I mean, I think she has love for me, but like somebody, a real woman that loves somebody, they would do stuff for them to make them happy. They would go out of their, they would do whatever they can to make a man happy because they love somebody.
Mhm.
I've never received that from her.
Do you think that you have given that to her?
Oh yeah. Now I will be honest. I'm a cheater. I've cheated multiple times. I mean, I cheated more than I can count. But my love for her never stopped. Like, and I know women be like, "Well, what the fuck? What does that mean? He's an asshole. You can't cheat in love. I mean, but you can. Like I love her. Like I would give her my last dollar type thing. You know what I mean? Like I make sure she's good no matter what. But I cheated because I was selfish. You know, and I cheated because that's what made me feel good. It wasn't nothing against her. It was because it's what I wanted, something that I wanted. And I can be honest about that.
Yeah.
It's something that she didn't make me cheat. It ain't like she never gave it up when I wanted it. It's just something that, as a man, you know, you think it's cool to have 4 or 5 different women. Like, but now that I'm older, you know, I don't feel that way anymore. You know, now I just want one woman to love me. And now that I want to settle down, I see that she's not like she don't she don't love me the same way I love her.
Why do you like why do you think that?
Because I know she don't. I know for a fact she don't. I mean, uh, you a woman would never let a man that she loved go 10 or 9 years without getting a birthday gift, without
Mhm.
waiting for Christmas gift. You know what I mean? So,
So it sounds like you guys have different. I'm looking for particular questions to ask. Like you guys have different love languages, for one. She likes to express her love in a different way. Me and my husband are like that too, but I've made a point to kind of, okay, even though this isn't really how I like to express that, that's what the other person likes. And so sometimes you have to kind of not change, but incorporate their preferred their preferred love language too. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
sounds like you guys are very different in that regard. Have you ever had a conversation to sit down and say, hey, this is what I like, this is what I would like to receive from you, and this is what I could also do better in giving you?
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we had talks multiple times. Like I said, the only thing I could say that I've ever did was cheat. Um,
Mhm.
I was a cheater, but I told her like, let's just get a girlfriend. Like, if we had a girlfriend, you know, I wouldn't be a cheater. You know, it would be like an open relationship. But she didn't want that, and I just kept doing what I was doing because I was like, but that's just me being an asshole, you know. I can admit that. Like, I don't mind admitting that. A real man admit that he's wrong or that he does his real shit, and I did it. But it is what it is. I've been 10 years down, and I've been good to her.
Um, okay, I'm gonna ask you some questions.
That's fine with
If
me.
you're willing. Okay, so these are because we're on the topic of relationship, and these are questions that kind of make you think about your relationship in particular. Obviously, like I'm not here to relationship counsel. I'm not here to provide therapy, but I do like to use, opportunities like this to kind of have conversations with people and really make them think and talk about the topic. And the topic is relationships, and in particular, your kind of journey in this relationship that you've been on. Um, you know, I haven't spoken with her on the record, so I can't, I don't have like an opinion per se, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, I can't say anything about her either way because I don't know. But if my purpose can be in this conversation to kind of help you kind of think through it and maybe even have some realizations about what to take into maybe your next relationship, you know, that's kind of my purpose, if you're
Well,
good with that.
my next relationship I already got a goal. So
Mhm.
my next relationship, I'm gonna be 100% different. And I guess I could say that because like in this relationship, she opened the door and showed me that she allowed things to happen. And once you open that door and you allow things and then you stop, you can't really stop, you know? So yeah, I'm down for the question. But if you know what I'm saying, like
Mhm.
if you're a woman and you tell your man that it's okay that I'm bisexual and it's okay for you to like be with other women, and then one day you just want to stop, like it don't really work that way. Like once you
Yeah.
open that door, you open that door.
I think the expectations can be a little unrealistic and it's difficult for somebody to say, okay, well, this has been acceptable for 10 years. If it's not something that's like physically or mentally harmful to the person, you know what I mean? Like you can't say, well, you've let me abuse you for 10 years. That's not even what we're talking about here,
Yeah,
but like when certain things have been acceptable and then all of a sudden you can put your foot down and you can change the things that you like and don't like, but we can't necessarily always expect that other person to say, okay, well, it's change, like change is progress, right? And if you have a certain type of relationship for 10 years and then all of a sudden it's like, no, no more, this isn't how a relationship goes. If it's not something that's harmful, I
yeah.
can see that's difficult
Hmm.
to navigate just instantly. Okay, everything is different all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I can understand that.
And another point is, I did kind of, well, not kind of, but I did grow up with her in my 20s, and I wasn't like dating the other people. So I realized what I did wrong, and I wouldn't want to do that again in my next relationship because I did it to my first relationship. And that's
Yeah,
shitty. It's shitty to say, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, you have to learn right from wrong and make your mistakes and never do it again. Because like I said, we did open a lot of doors together. Like, we've been to like we had threesomes, we've been to swinging parties, we did all that stuff. But like, it's something you just can't cut off. Like, you can't just, you just can't cut that off. Like, kind of got to start new, or you got to grow with it and adapt with it. If that makes any sense.
I think this is why I I tell my daughters, don't marry the person you date in high school, right?
Yeah,
Because people 100% change between their teenage years to their 20s even, but definitely their 30s.
yeah,
And I know a couple couples that have been together since they were teenagers, and it has not been great. And that's
yeah,
just my opinion. They know it's not been great. They're in their relationship, right? They
yeah,
might still be together, they might not. My current husband, we kind of dated, if you want to call it that, in high school, but I wouldn't have married the high school him because he's immature and so was I. I think if we would
yeah,
have gotten married in high school, we wouldn't be together. But people need time to change and grow. And that's not to say but that like people can't be together 20, 30 years.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just when you're young like that and you haven't established and grown in yourself, you can't be a solid partner to someone else and not grow and change.
Exactly. I mean, you're right. I agree with you. Like we was way too young. People tried to tell me. Of course, I didn't listen. And, you think you know it all at that age, but you really don't. You don't know shit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't know somebody until you live with them.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of like it sucks because it's like, well, I want to know you before I cohabitate with you, right? But realistically, and then a lot of parents prefer their kids not live with, their partner or whatever before marriage and whatnot. But I'm glad that we lived together before we got married because, well, that told me whether I wanted to marry him or not. My my first husband, we didn't live together before we got married. Like he was in the military, we got married. I moved 3 hours away, and then there we were. And I I feel like had we taken the time to live together and really get to know each other before we got married, it would have been a lot different. You know,
Yeah,
it's difficult, and then you add kids in the mix, and you can't even really get to know each other because, well, you go straight from being the single person to being a parent with this other single person who just became a parent. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm not saying like don't get married, but like just go live with everybody. That's not what I'm saying, but it does. It complicates things when or if you haven't known the person a good 3 to 5 years, long enough for them to go certain things and you see how they handle it, how they treat you through it. It it does make it difficult, and sometimes impossible.
it does. I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, so I've been trying to talk to other women and trying to get out of this situationship that I'm in, but it's been hard. It's because I'm a nice guy. I, I'm truly a nice guy, and I don't know how to be an asshole because women don't want nice guys anymore. So everybody wants an asshole, and I just don't know how to be one.
Yeah, I relate all this back to either like myself or my daughters, right? And I have one who I haven't really liked the people that she's dated, and we've been right about those people, but it's like, well, you have to let them live their own lives and make their decisions, and you just kind of like have to influence them as best as you can. But if there's certain people that I've been like, that guy's a piece of shit. And she might even be like, he could have some better qualities. But sometimes we also feel like, well, this is what I have. And it may whether it may be a security thing or a lack of a life experience thing, whatever, that happens too. That happens to where, well, this is what I have. And not to say that that's how you feel about her. Like, well, she's just what I have. But when you are with somebody so young, sometimes it becomes, well, we have a kid together, or well, this is what I know, kind of thing.
I mean, that's totally, yeah, I totally get that. I mean, I've been there. I'm there now. Like, she's a great person, and I won't never put her down, but she's a
Yeah.
great mother. But being a wife, being like a wife, I guess that's something you got to be taught, like how to love, how to, I don't know. Her mother didn't do a good job of it. So, and her daddy didn't show her how to be loved. So it's not really her fault, but at the same time, you got to grow up and you got to adapt.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I mean, I mean, I don't live in a mansion or nothing, but I mean, she got a roof over her head. She got a car to drive. Like, she got two healthy, beautiful kids. Like, I do too, but it's like she's always sad and don't want to do nothing with life. And that just makes me not want to be around her.
that goes into kind of like a deeper focus though on that end, you know, because you mentioned she doesn't have like that strong connection with her dad. And
Yeah.
I feel like I know how that is. One of my daughters has is in the same situation as well. And I notice patterns. It definitely, when you don't have good relationships with your parent, especially girls and their fathers, which I used to think this was such bullshit, but it's really true. When you don't have solid relationships with that um, opposite gender parent, it really does kind of fuck you up emotionally, you know? And if we don't heal from it, it 100% affects every relationship with the opposite sex we ever have.
That's why I'm here for my daughter. I'm here and make sure she knows I'm here and that I'll do
Mm.
the same for her. That's the reason why I stay because and people go, well, why do you stay? Because I have a daughter, and my daughter is very smart, and she picks up on everything. And I don't want to fail her at all, like at all.
But that's something I always recommend against with people in relationships. I've heard, well, I'm in this abusive relationship because I have to keep my family together, my religion, my parents, my whatever, whatever. I would never, ever, ever suggest staying in a relationship because of kids. And that's no like shot at you, but as
Yeah.
staying in a relationship because of kids, it it doesn't it actually, in my own experience, me staying in a relationship with my ex-husband was worse for my children because they saw more toxic and unhealthy behavior, which if you can make your relationship as co-parents work,
Mhm.
your children seeing you work together as opposed to your children seeing the same home fighting and arguing
Yeah.
is so much better to be in separate homes, providing healthy environments and healthy co-parenting for your kids. In my opinion, in my experience, we get along. We're much better parents um, separately in different homes in separate
Well,
relationships.
and
Us.
I your internet's going up. You're being real spotty right now. You still got service over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, your internet's going out. Okay, my internet it was going in and out.
Oh, I
Can
can
you hear
still
me
hear you.
now?
Yeah, I can still hear
Okay, over here it was going in and out. Now, okay, I got full service now.
you. You should be good. I mean, I can
But
hear.
I totally agree with you on that. But I think as the men, so me and her, me and Heather, um, I don't we don't really fight that much in front of the kids, and I'm never really home anyway. I
Yeah.
stay on the road a lot, but I do agree with you. I do agree. For me personally, as a man, my dad was never in my life, so I wanted to be in my kid's life because I never had a father.
Right, right.
And you know, it, with me being the breadwinner here, I'm the one that's paying all the bills, doing everything on my own. I would rather sit here with her and make sure my kids are taken care of than really truly going to get child support and all that and sending her money and then have another man in here that my kids don't know and
Yeah,
then me paying money and then my kids ain't still getting what they want.
right,
Like
right. Yeah,
that's the part that I can't get through.
yeah,
Cause I know what she does with money. So I could only imagine me not being here. for me to be happy laying up with another woman, and then I'm sending my kids $1,000 a month or $800 a month, and she takes that money and blow it on another guy, or just to be spiteful, my kids ain't getting what they need. So, I want to put my kids first. So by me putting my kids first, it's by me staying here to see that they get what they need.
Yeah, I do understand that. I do. My suggestion in the financial aspect is buy them what they need. Don't just give her money. And that's coming from a woman, a woman who I've been on child, I've not been on child support myself, but I've had my kid's father order to pay child support. And there were times where I did spend it on myself because my mindset at the time was, well, I pay for everything. So this child support he's sending is just replacing what I've already spent on the kid.
Yeah,
Now, I'm not saying that's an intelligent mindset. Mind you, I was very young, um, very early teens or late teens. I was still a kid. So this is not, I'm not saying that's the best mindset to have, but that has been my mindset at the time. If I were to go back and do things more intelligently, the money that he sent would just go directly to the kids. It doesn't make sense to, well, I spent this, so I'm replacing it. It doesn't. Especially when it comes to like, I would buy cigarettes and whatever. I don't smoke now, but when I smoked,
yeah,
it doesn't make sense. Yes, I spent the money on those kids, and yes, my logic was, well, I'm replacing it, but just put the money to the kid. You know what I mean? Like, so in your instance, I would just buy what they need and don't send any money. Because here's the thing. This is also, like I said, this is coming from a woman. I paid all the bills in my house. When me and my husband split, it was my household. I'm gonna have to pay those bills regardless, whether I have kids or not, right? So me saying you should be paying my bills is never a thing that I said. Any money that should be coming in should be going to those children. Yeah, I pay the bills, yes, but I'm paying those bills whether I'm a single mom or whether I have no kids or whether I'm married. Those bills are going to get paid regardless. So, going into separate household, those bills become my priority, not my children's, not my ex-partner's. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's a situation where like they completely did me dirty and like put me out or something, then okay, I can see, well, since you put me out, you should be helping because now I have to get back on my feet. But that was never my situation. Um, in her situation, like I said, I can't provide advice to her because she's not here, but I would say in regards to you, if it were me, I would just buy what the kids needed. I wouldn't send money. And that way you're taking care
yeah.
of the children's needs and you don't have to worry about whether it's being spent on them or not. She's gonna have to start over. But honestly, as a woman, I think as much as it would suck, to me, I would rather start over and get to a healthy, happy place, get on my feet, be working again and providing for myself. It gives me independence. And, it does something for you. When you get that independence, you start getting your life back together. It sucks. It really does. It sucks being in two different houses. You have to share your children, and sometimes your kids aren't home because they're at the other person's house and whatnot. But I just think that at the end of the day, us as individuals and as parents being in a healthy place is more important than what my house looks like. And if this relationship isn't healthy for me, it's not healthy for my kids.
I get you. I totally get you on that part. I mean, and that's the thing. Like we tried going to church and we did all that. Church hurt, So
Yeah.
uh, we tried it all. But you're right. I mean, I need to. I told her that yesterday. I need to get out of this house. Like it's not but bad memories for me, and just it's depressing.
Yeah.
Very
You know,
depressing.
I have a friend who her and her husband split, they divorced, they went through it was messy. It was so messy, and I felt so bad for her. And I kind of knew, but like I'd met him before through her, but I knew her much better. The divorce was it was so hard. She went back to college, she got her nursing degree, she got herself established. She was in a wonderful place, and they are now back together. So, and they're happy, it's like a marriage redo. And, so sometimes, just like I said, even with my husband now, taking that long break and really establishing yourself, getting yourself into a healthy place, sometimes it works out for people to where then they are able to have a healthy marriage because they've grown and healed separately as to where they were kind of handicapped trying to do it together, if that makes sense.
I know for a fact when I leave that she's gonna go out and get a job and she's gonna do good. And like,
Yeah.
and then somebody like, I'm gonna be sad because I'm like, well, damn, when I was there, she couldn't do that.
Why
Like,
couldn't you do that for me? Yeah.
like
Yeah, but I don't think it has anything to do with you. And kind of getting to know you how I have, I've briefly spoken to her. I'm not as familiar with her, but just from a woman's perspective, I don't think that it's you. I don't think it's her. I think that it's accumulation of all these things that you both are trying to get through and you're both trying to recover from, and you're bumping heads and you're just not being successful at it together.
no, not at all. Not at all. Hell, shit, crazy as hell over here. But I want the best for her. And that's so as a man, I want the best for her, but she don't want the best for herself, and that's really sad to me.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
Because like I tell her all the time that she needs to go out with her friends, go out get a drink, go do this, do that, go be fun, be normal. She don't want to. Like I tell her this all the time. I said, like, I have the night off. I want you to pick the restaurant, pick where you want to go. Let's go do it. She won't do it. Like she won't do a damn thing. I'm just like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
But it could be that. It could be that something is wrong. Like,
I mean,
you know what I mean? In a sense of whether it be depression or unresolved trauma. It could just be that, you know, somebody said to me a while back, once we become adults, it is our responsibility to heal and not take it out on the world. And that, like, I was like, what the hell? Like, I never, I'm looking at things from this psychological point of view. I'm looking at it from my education in psychology and mental health and wellness, and that's how I'm looking at things like this. I, even, with teenagers, with people in their 20s, people in their 30s, even myself, I'm still working through things that I feel like I should have gotten through already, but it's hard emotionally, But it's so true. It's such a true statement. And I just didn't look at it like that before he pointed it out. But it is like once we become adults, it sucks. It sucks that we have to do this because it sucks we have to just get through certain things, and certain things should never happen to us, but we can't go back and change and control these things happening, right? So once we become aware enough and intelligent enough as adults, it's our responsibility to change these things that hold us back in life. Now, she might not have ever been told that. You know what I mean? Or she might not have ever had the support from a family member or someone in the mental health field to say, hey, I know this sucks. This is horrible that happened and it should have never happened to you, but it's now your responsibility to heal from it.
yeah. I mean, I tried to tell her that.
Yeah, but she's not going to listen to you. You're her husband. You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe you should call her. She needs her own podcast. She could probably say some shit about me. And you might judge me
well,
differently.
I do. I do plan on having her on, but it won't be to talk shit about it.
I don't care if you did. Hell,
Not
I,
about her. She can't do it about you.
well, I mean, I'm a guy, so it's all right. It's all right. Hell, I like I said, the only thing she can say about me is just me cheating all the time. I'll tell you, whew,
But you know that that might be the thing for her.
maybe. I mean, but at
The
the same time, I mean, at least I was home every night. Like I never stayed the night with somebody. Like I did my dirt and I went home. Like,
yeah.
and it ain't like she didn't know about it. Like she would know when I'm cheating. I cut my GPS off, or like I just say, "Hey, I got something to do." Or there was some times I had sugar mamas that would
Mhm.
message her and be like, "Can your husband come over? I'll send you $200." So like it was some times like she knew about it.
Mhm.
So, but the only complaint she ever talks bad about me is me cheating. Like that's the only thing she holds over my head.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I keep saying, like, why do you stay with me if you know I'm just a cheater? Oh, I love you, but if you love me and you don't want me cheating, then why don't you give me an ultimatum or something? She won't do it. Like I don't know. But I will say this: the next woman I get with, I would never cheat. And the
Mhm.
only reason why I cheat now is because I was just so unhappy. But like the next woman that I get with, I want to make sure she's the one where I would never want to cheat because I already went down that road.
Mhm.
And I know that's fucked up. It's fucked up, but it's the truth. Like I would never want to cause the pain of me cheating with somebody else.
Yeah.
But I guess with this relationship I'm in now, like I did it so much, it's like a normal thing. It's like normal, It's
No,
like,
I get it. It sounds crazy, but it's like like paying rent when you live at home
yeah,
or cleaning up after yourself when you live at home.
yeah,
You might slack on it when you live with your parents, but if you live on your own or say you go live with someone else's parents or whatever the case may be, you're going to make sure that shit gets done. And it's not
exactly.
because you hate your parents or because you don't respect your parents. It's because, well, sometimes we just naturally treat the people we love a certain way
Yeah,
unintentionally, where they're our like safe place because they know, well, I mean, we know, well, they're not going to leave me. And it's not like we go through in our head, well, I'm going to cheat on her because she's not going to leave me. I'm going to not clean up after myself because my parents aren't going to leave me. Like, you don't think these things out. They just happen. Well, I'm going to lash out because they're not going to stop being my friend. Like that's
yeah,
not how our brain processes. It happens because we know that person isn't going to leave us because we fuck up.
yeah. And that's why I said the next woman that I meet that I want to be with, first I know she's gonna make me happy in bed. And then secondly, like I won't need to cheat because that's gonna be my person. And like I said, I've learned what I like and what I don't like. Like, and could me and Heather ever work things out? I mean, I don't know, but she would have to change. But I don't think that would ever happen.
Yeah. It sucks even more when it's somebody that we have kids with because as parents, as involved parents, the one thing we really want in life is for everything to be good for our kids.
Mhm.
Us, everybody around them, their circumstances. As active parents, we want everything in our kids' lives to be good. And sometimes we can't sometimes we can't make everything good and it sucks. It sucks, especially when you are in a relationship with somebody and you have kids with them and that can't just be perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I totally get it. It's sad. I mean,
But I will say, like I said, it's your kids are going to have, not just you but anybody who's listening, your children are going to be mentally, physically, and emotionally more well cared for when you are happy yourself.
that's true.
And that you can't, and I would tell Heather the same thing, and I will because we do plan to talk, but I tell her the same thing. You can't, your children, because I know that's her concern. I know her focus is her kids. She wants them happy and healthy, but they're not going to be if you're not,
Yeah,
you know. I had to learn that.
yeah,
I had to learn it because, obviously religion and family and everything, you want to stay together. You have kids with those people, you procreated with them, and that should be your forever person. And ideally, yes, the person that we have kids with is going to be, that's our nuclear family.
yeah.
And that's always going to be it. But it just, unfortunately, it just doesn't happen. And we never really planned for it to not happen. It just, life circumstances, they change, you
Yeah,
know?
that's true. I mean, hell, that's why I said that's what I've been going through. That's about it. I've been talking to a couple of women that's been making me happy, but it's all the same shit, you know.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
I know it's different for me because I'm a woman and I had kids before I got married. And then we had kids together. Um, but shit, I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah,
I had a point. What's the last thing you said?
about how I was talking to a couple of women, but it's all the same shit.
Oh, okay. So, when I was going through my divorce, we still live in the same house, same scenario. We still live in the same house for a while. We only moved separately in separate places because our lease was up.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think if our lease had been another year, we might have stayed in the same house another year. We weren't intimate. We were seeing other people, and stuff like that. And we weren't bringing anybody home though, obviously, because we still live together. We just, that's not where we wanted to be with our kids,
yeah.
bringing other people in and whatnot. Um, but I took a good year where I was not with anybody. I focused on myself and like it was good. I needed it. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like taking time for yourself. And I know, physical needs aside and emotional needs aside, we need that attention and that intimacy. But when I've been at both points trying to move on from someone else while, dating other people, trying to, because I want that connection. And I've also been on the end of completely not involving myself romantically with anyone.
Mhm.
And I was much more successful when I took time for myself and I didn't try to replace those connections, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. I get you. I mean, I I'm in the same boat. I'm not looking for sex. I'm looking for connection.
Yeah,
That's what I'm looking for. Cause me and Heather, we can't have a conversation to save our life. Like we just two different people.
yeah,
Like we just like having a conversation like this never happened. We always argue, always about something. So I want somebody I could talk to. That's
yeah.
my main thing. Just,
I mean, but it's easy with me because we're not in a relationship. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And at least my conversations on here come from a more professional capacity.
yeah.
You know, that's naturally gonna happen, right? Like we don't have a romantic relationship, and so therefore I'm sure that there's things that you talk to me about that you don't just talk to other women that you're romantically involved with because, well, you want them to know a certain side of you, and that's just what people do, right? Um, but I think that's part of the problem too. Like you guys are too close. You're too
Yeah.
close to listen and to hear each other out. Hold on. Sorry, one second.
That'll give.
Yeah. But yeah. But it's you guys, you're too close. This I recommend therapy to everybody. I used to be anti-therapy. Then I went to school for it and I was like, oh, everyone should do this.
Yeah.
But that's one good thing about or even coaching, relationship coach. That's one thing that I do. One purpose of relationship coaching is to have a mediator to say, hey, you talk. you listen, you talk, you listen. And to have someone be in the middle to say, okay, this is what I'm hearing. Is this what you're trying to convey? And then, to help you get things out that you can't necessarily get out on your own because it's difficult to have a conversation with somebody that you're at odds with. Like, I don't want to hear what you have to say, and
Yeah,
you're not listening to me.
yeah. So
But
you
even
definitely need to talk to her, dude.
even, even if it's not therapy, relationship coaching is it's beneficial too. We don't do as in depth things psychologically, but we just kind of guide you through navigating your relationship or through the disillusion of your relationship because relationships don't always work out, and sometimes you both need support ending that relationship. But so,
Well, I totally get it. You definitely need to talk to her, though. I think you would get a kick out of it.
yeah, I've read some stories. I've already read some stories, but my position here is to be neutral. So there's nothing that you could say about her or that she could say about you that would make me be like, oh, I can't be your friend anymore because you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I appreciate it.
yeah, I mean, I'm literally I'm a neutral party because there's her side, your side, and then the truth, which is nothing that anyone's unintentionally saying, but we all have our own perspectives. You have your perspective, and she could have a completely different perspective of the same situation. And
Right.
there could also be a third person sitting here watching this whole thing play out and be three different perspectives. You know what I mean? Just
Oh,
because we're three different people. So yeah, I've I've read some stories, but it's it is what it is. It's life. People who are in relationships that are at odds are going to say things about one another, and I'm not in the relationship. So anything that is told to me is like, all right, whatever.
yeah, I
I'm
agree.
just I'm just here to give advice and listen. So. But yeah, so for everyone who's listening, his wife will also be a guest on my podcast, which I think will be a first. My son's father was on my podcast. His now ex-wife did request to be on, but unfortunately, that is something that I chose not to pursue. Um, but so you guys will be the first.
Yeah, it'd be a wild ride. Like you said. But she soon to be my ex-wife. You know what I'm saying? Because I am looking for somebody else to be with, be happy with. But it is what it is.
Maybe I could do like a the red balloon episode. We'll have you and some other ladies come into my office. We'll do the
Hey, that'd be cool as fuck. I would like that. I would love to do that. Hell, I tell you what.
It
I've been watching that shit. That shit's hilarious to me.
is. It is. Yeah.
Listen,
I don't like balloons, so I would substitute it, but it is funny. It's,
we
no,
could
I saw this is off topic, but I saw one recently of like, where is it? Philly. There's like it's a zombie town or zombie land.
do.
Like this really big drug population. People live outside and it's like a street. I don't know how many, but I know it's at least one street in Philly where it's just a bunch of homeless drug addicts. They just live there. And I saw one episode, it was like two or three that they did that with homeless drug addicts. And it was pretty entertaining.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
but maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll do something like that. I also, my ex-husband, we have we've talked about like a matchmaking kind of episode. So maybe that'd be a little twist. Have the two of you come in and we have like a group of ladies, and then we can.
That would be fun. I'm down for that. Hell yeah.
Or
That'd
maybe
be
I'll just
fun.
make it a series. I'll do one with him, and then I'll do one with you, and then we'll just make it a thing.
It'd be fun as hell. I'm telling you what, I would love that. Different for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got to go start getting kids, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. But uh
Thank you for
stay
your time.
on stay on. I'm gonna close us out and then just stay on here for a second before you hang up.
Uh,
All right. Let everybody know where they can find you. If you now for this one, because this is a personal episode, if you want to put your social media information, you can. If not, it's perfectly fine too. Because I mean, I don't know if you want people to follow you from this episode. It's totally up to you. But if you want to give your information, have at it.
you can follow me at Snapchat. Your boy Monty. You are boy Monty. Monty. That's about it. I don't really give up my Facebook like that. But if you do want to follow me on Facebook, it's Devante Thomas. Just hit me.
And if you're up for, a little matchmaking game,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hit me
For
up.
yeah, let's do that. That's really cool. Be cool to do that. I don't know how good it'd be, but we can try it.
Hey, anything is possible with Zoom.
That's very true.
All right. We'll
All
see
right,
you next time.
bye.
Check us out on YouTube at Rhea Higgs, ReaHagues. You can also keep up with us on Instagram at Just the Who Podcast.